Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new edition of the Low-Code Café, episode 50. Today, we are going to see a cool system that Radu built for our internal use, first of all, which is a WeTransfer clone that is very secure for the purpose of sharing passwords and documents, really cool use cases. And you'll start seeing this more and more on our support channel. But before that, for those of you that are new to this event, this is a webinar that we are doing every week on Wednesdays, same time, same day, same time. And it's an event for our community. It's a technical event where we get together to demo new features that come in our product, discuss the product roadmap, but also do some hands-on development. We get to see some nice tricks and techniques that Dale, the head of support at Plant and App, discovers on the support channels. And then the biggest chunk is actually looking at one of these more complex systems, how they are built, what are various techniques to build them. Sometimes we also have guest speakers, like we had last week. We had KPMG showcasing a chatbot integration with Plant and App. So if you have any ideas, if you have anything you like to share with our community, we'd love to host you. So please drop us a message. This event is being recorded and all past editions are posted on our YouTube channel. That's 49 hours of video. So already you'd say that it's 5 seasons already. And make sure to subscribe and follow us so you get notifications as we post new such content. So the agenda for today is that we'll jump directly to Dale to give us some stories from the trenches. We'll learn about upcoming releases and some glitches with the previous releases as well that Reza wants to address with the community. And finally, we'll see this cool drop link system that I mentioned with Radu. Cool. So Dale, feel free to take it over.
Very good. Hello. Move things out of the way and get it showing. Okay, so today is From the Trenches segment. We have some fun things that we've learned. It always amazes me that there are things in the product that I had no idea that were there. I don't know whether that means I'm ignorant or more likely the product is just bigger than I can wrap my arms around. So today is kind of a simple technique I wanted to talk about, form sidebars. These are left and right sidebars that can also display values from your forms. And a new action that was added recently to the product. I think we touched on it briefly, but I wanted to demonstrate it, stop execution. And I'm going to put in a shameless plug for the Low-Code Campfire. So we'll touch base on all of those things. The question about form sidebars came up from a question on one of our channels. I think it was the community forum, but somebody was trying to work through an old video that we had posted. There's a lot of things on 1001 things you can do with DN and Sharp, and I'm going to post a link to that here shortly. But there was a video about to show a summary in a action form or shopping cart, and so that video in 5 minutes shows the same technique, but it can be used for other things as well. So I wanted to demonstrate it. So my setup today, I've got Low-Code Café number 50, a sidebar page defined, and we're going to drop an action form onto the page. Can't believe it's been 50 episodes, and I've been around for a lot of those. Let's see. So, let's see, I've managed to have been, gonna keep my editing open here. So we'll drop this on here and we'll manage the form. Now I'm going to just start out with a blank form, and put a couple of things on the form. So first of all, we will add a, I just want to add a multiple choice with drop down. And we'll have, let's say that this is going to be a form where people can fill in it's going to create an email. So where is the email going to go? Well, they get to choose if it's going to go to accounting or sales or support. And so this name is going to be, and so the ID is going to be send to. And since I'm just illustrating a point, I'm not going to get any more complex than that. We're just put one field on the form and save it and go back and take a look at the form. So we have this send to form, and it's a drop down accounting, sales, support. You could obviously you'd have a much more complex form that would have a place to put in the message and a button to send it and actions about what you want it to do. But what I'm going to do now is to go in back to the form and edit it. In the editing, first of all, I'm going to change the name of it. Always good to give your modules unique names for a variety of reasons. And then within the general settings, I'm going to scroll down and you'll find that there is a left sidebar and a right sidebar HTML area. And so within that, you can put things like whatever you put in that when you have a sidebar that's not blank and you refresh the form, the sidebar is going to appear to the, in this case, it's either going to appear to the right of the form. If you use the left sidebar, appear to the left, but just this content just appears to the right. And so it's intended to put some kind of summary or message. So there is a, if we look at our formatting here, there's this thing, this double brace form that allows you to put a field on the form. So I'm going to go back in here to the right sidebar HTML and just paste that. And so the format is double brace, form, field, and then the name of the field that you want to send to display and the value. So this will just get evaluated as typing or entry is going on. So that send to that's there matches up with the ID send to that I have here. So when I save that and refresh the form, now as I select, this right-hand side will update. So if you watch the 5-minute video, it shows a useful purpose for this. For example, as you're entering an order entry form, the summary of the order and the pricing gets calculated and shown to the right. So it's an order summary, but you can use this to somehow summarize or display information that you might like about the form. It also might be useful to you if you wanted to interactively, while you're debugging a form, you might put the display of some hidden fields or some other conglomerated kinds of values. You could display them to the right-hand side as you go, and then just remove that when you're done debugging. So kind of a handy technique to use in a variety of ways. And like I say, I just didn't even realize it was in there. So the link for that video, the 5-minute video, I'll include that here when I stop talking. The next thing was stop execution action. So, I mean, this is a really simple one. It's an action that stops all action. And I've put together a demonstration of that, and where I think it's one of the most handiest places within our product that you might use it. It can be used in workflows and buttons, but in my case, I'm going to pick to do it within automation. So I've got an automation job that triggers, and I'm picking this scenario out because it's one that I've used before and had to really kind of code around to deal with this. I have a trigger that this job runs when the database updates. So when my app location table gets updated in any way, the trigger fires. And then that there's going to be a set of actions that happen. So the idea is this table location gets changed and I want to do things. Well, perhaps there's a condition that if some condition is true, I don't want to do anything. If I have a number of actions, let's say it's quite a complex process below, maybe I have 15 actions below, and you don't want to have to conditionalize every action. Now, I know there's other ways to deal with this, like the execute actions action, but putting that aside for a moment, the stop execution is going to allow you to just call a full stop. So let's see what I've got here. The stop execution is conditional. It says if the L1 field is Forney, which is the name of my town here where I'm living now. So if the L1 is Forney, this is going to be true and all execution is going to stop. Otherwise, we're going to inject some data, which is notes 1 and notes 2, saying that the location is this and the before value is that. The trigger for update provides both a before and an after, the before syntax, and then the after change syntax is just the field name. Final thing I'll point out is I've turned on debug mode, which puts a lot of stuff into the log. So let's see how this works out. If we go to our locations table and change the location from Richardson to Dallas, this is the L1 location. And so this should have caused my trigger to fire. And if I look in the history for that trigger, I can see that my notes were entered. The location is Dallas. The location was Richardson. So it's done that. By turning on the debug, by the way, you get all this other information, all of the fields before and after, and some raw JSON and things like that. So that debug is very useful to see what things are in your context. Okay, so we'll do the same thing again, but this time we're going to change it from Dallas to 40, one in my stop execution. And so when we go back to the history this time and look at the execution, we don't have any notes 1, notes 2, because that stop execution made it where stop execution fired. This was true, execution stopped, and nothing below happened. So it's just a real quick way to say, hey, I'm done. And again, I think it's particularly handy for automation, because if you determine that you wanted it to fire, you want to look at some conditions and say, no, this doesn't apply. Stop execution gets you out of there very cleanly without having to conditionalize all the rest of your job. But the same thing applies in workflows. If you have I'm not going to actually do a demonstration, but the stop execution action type is there. It has the same setup, and when this runs, if this is true, it's just going to stop execution right away. And I'll just mention that anything that was done before, if there was context set and output set, those still come out, right? So it just stops at processing through the rest of the job. Very easy way out. Okay, so those are the two things for today: form sidebars and stop execution action. Also this shameless plug for Low-Code Campfire. We're doing this Fridays at 10 a.m. It's just an opportunity to come talk about the product, talk about the things that you're working on. And we've had some really great and lively conversations. Look for the email. It's this, you should get an email probably right after this meeting, where you'll have an opportunity to join us. So we would look forward to talking. It's very interactive as a meeting. You get to chat with others. It's a really great way to build a community and find out what other people are doing with the product. So at this point, I'm going to ask Reza to join in and tell us what he's got going on this week.
Thanks, Dale. Just kind of a quick one for me this week, and I'm trying a new background format out, get a twofer here. But working on with been watching the forum and the support center, and we've seen some reports and things come in where people are having issues upgrading from 13 to 14. I think these are kind of specific. I don't want to call them edge cases, but certain scenarios where this is happening. We're running 114 across the board on all of our stuff, new things, existing things. Having a lot of trouble reproducing some of this stuff. So mostly and in general, I think 114 is a fine release, just acknowledging that there are some issues and workflows and things. So I would say if you haven't upgraded yet, sit tight and just know that the team has directed their focus and we're kind of rounding up the things we're hearing about. Some of them obviously are being like, oh, okay, user error or your upgrade didn't finish. One thing I would always recommend is when you do upgrade, very first thing to do after the update is done is go to the logs section and take a look at your admin logs and just make sure there were no issues. There's a lot of scripts and things, migrations, stuff that happens, especially as DNN also moves forward and we're adjusting our code to be compatible and things like that. And so just make sure you validate that there were no errors or things like that after you upgraded before kind of moving on. That would help a lot. And to know, it's kind of hard, maybe a week later you notice something and it turns out it was a script or something that didn't run during the upgrade. So just be mindful and note of what you see there. And along those same lines, some of the challenges, DNN and us have been moving a lot faster in the last year. And so they've had a lot of releases and things too. And we're coming up on a year from when 9.7.2 was actually released. And currently our minimum version that we support is 9.3.2, I believe. And so just wanted to kind of heads up that in 1.16, the next release, which will probably come out end of August, beginning of September, the minimum version is going to be increased to 9.7.2. And that really helps us. I mean, right now we're running dual token providers and detecting, are you using the old one or the new one? And so that's where some of these gremlins creep into the system. And so we're always going to keep that 1 year support window and promise for this foreseeable future. We don't know what the future holds for DNN as well, but from what I can see with our timing, their timing, a year feels about right. And it's becoming easier and better to keep things current along the way. So I would just say be mindful of that, and that will help a lot with this sort of thing in the future. But in the meantime, our focus is on stability now and making sure that everything's stable. And so there will probably be a couple hot fixes that come out early next week. I'll post and note if they're material. Otherwise, we'll be communicating directly in the channels where things have been reported. That's it for me. Thank you.
Great. At this point, we're going to invite Radu to jump in and talk about the drop link system that he's developed for us to use and how it's going to add to our security, and a peek behind the scenes.
Hi, everyone. All right, let me share my screen and I can tell you the story behind this solution. I hope you are seeing it. Right, so DropLink itself is a solution to share messages. More exactly, what's designed that we're gonna start sharing passwords through it and share files like backups of the server, or documents that need big of the backups of the database, backup of the files, whatever is needed to make things go. The situation was with how the story started was in the fact the problem was that one of our clients wanted to share with us a 50 gigabytes backup of a website, and we didn't have a great solution to give to that client to share with us that amount of of data. Neither we didn't have set up a FTP server, or and overall we started going with a third-party provider, and it wasn't like the best solution at that point. So in that moment, the Droplink solution kind of started to take shape. Initially, I had a similar idea of sharing messages, but hearing out the problem, the situation that occurred with that client of sharing that amount of information. I will. We added also document sharing to the application. The main idea with here will be that either messages or files will not stay longer than needed in our application. Never to say that the messages not only they have limited access based on how many days have passed from generation of the link, on how many accesses that link had. It also is RSA encrypted, stored, so it's not even if in case of a breach, the information is still secure, so the passwords are still secure. From the document side of the security, we are uploading the documents directly in a private bucket in S3. And the only way to access those documents are either through a plant and app employee with the proper rights to that specific bucket, or only through a logged in user to the Droplink application. With the mention that specifically for this implementation, for this application here, there's only one administration account. Even plant and app employees have limited access into the application and are only they can only use it through based on a specific role that they have, but they cannot see or adjust or modify information on others files. So from this perspective, it's only the system can manage that. Only the initiator or only the system will automatically delete the documents. Otherwise, no one can access them. So if to put it in another way, so first of all, you'll need to be logged into the system to access any of the files. And after that, you'll need to have the proper rights to either be the uploader of the file or be part of or to be an employee at the plant and app that has permissions to manage to access documents in Droplink. So that being said, me personally, I also have the administrator account, but to demonstrate to you later part some of the implementation parts and so on. But for the first part, I'm gonna show you how me as an employee here, what options do I have and what options you as a end user will have. So let me sign in. One mention that I want to have is that if you already have an account with console.plantandapp.com, you can just go to Droplink and log in there. And if someone from Plant and App wants to share documents with you or is requesting you to share documents with us, you can access it with your console.plantandapp.com account, because this is linked as exactly as the Academy is linked with a single sign-on, so you can use the same account between the other platforms. Now, being logged in, I would like to show you initially the messaging part, and maybe you saw similar solutions to what I'm just going to show you. So the idea it will be here that whatever you type in the message section, we're going to generate a link, and this link is going to be available either up to 7 days with the default of 3 days and up to 10 opens, but it's a default of 3 opens. So those are options that you can choose. And this is by logging in Droplink.plantandapp.com, you have available to use this right now to start sharing links. The mention that I want to have is that the messaging service, let's say, is public, so you can use it to not only with Plant and App, but you can use it with other partners that you work with to start sharing credentials, and those can be website credentials, SQL credentials, VPN credentials, messages that you don't want to be public. The whole point of this is to stop sharing passwords through email, because I'm not saying the email is unsecure. It's getting more and more secure. The problem is that the email is not getting deleted as the message is here. So even though if the mail is secure for a month, a year, 10 years, at some point, if someone breaks it for some reason and gets access to the email, it can go 10 years back and find that password. But there's another story about why you should change passwords regularly and so on. If you keep the same password 10 years, then you are at a different risk. But that's a whole other story. The idea will be that by sharing information through this service, you only you send the information to the user, the password, let's say, only available for 3 days. Even someone breaks into the email today or in 10 years, this information is going to be long gone until someone can access it and use it, for any malicious ways or for any bad reason. So the whole point here is to share risky information with someone only for a limited time. So let's see. Hey, from drop link. The password is admin0. That's not a secure one. All right. So this is the message that I want to encrypt and generate a link for it. And just for this specific example, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave 5 opens, and I'm just gonna click generate link. Immediately after I'm getting a link that I can start sharing it. And actually, I'm gonna post this on the chat, so we can people who are interested to see how it looks can actually open it. If you click on the link, it's gonna automatically get copied into the clipboard. I'm just gonna paste it here. Let me see. Let me share it with the open listener attendees. All right, and I can choose, please.
Yeah, at least 5 of us will get to see this.
At least 5 of you. And if you want, I can create a new message after this expires, or it's gonna automatically expire in 3 days. No worries if you are the creator of the message and you forgot what you shared with an individual, with someone. The idea it will be that you specifically, the creator, have a view button that will not consume opens left, so accesses on for this specific message. You will see in hours and in opens how much time does it have. The hours is gonna be, say, 72, so that's the expiration that was set, but the expiration date, this is gonna be July 3rd, when at this specific hour the message is gonna get deleted. This is local hour, so I created it 1 minute ago. For you specifically, for the creator, you can click on view button and you get the message. But each individual person that accesses, let's say, so it's only one access left. One mention that I want to have: if you refresh the page, it's gonna consume 1 view each time. So let's see. Does it still? It's still 1 open left. If someone, Dale, if you're willing to access the link and destroy the message,
Absolutely. I should have just used the last one.
So right, so someone accessed it, so it's already deleted. Let me do something as well. I'm just gonna create a new link. Maybe some people didn't have the time to access, so it's fair to show people how this looks from the end user provider. So you get the message and the text, just the text below. So this access consumed one of the accesses, and if you got the message and you are interested in storing that information, I invite you to take the information, the password, and store it in your secure location. But at least the transfer channel is not going to be blamed on any kind of leaks. So that's the whole idea. The whole idea here, and also it's another thing. It will be to have a limited time for that link. So even if you say, well, it's the holidays and 7 days may not be enough for a developer or someone that is interested in working with the passwords, is not going to be enough, then it means that the message it should not stay that long into the system. So it's a maximum of 7 days, and that's it, and 10 accesses on the link. All right. Moving for, if there are any questions regarding this or interest in how it was built or specific things here, I'm inviting you to leave questions or in the chat or in the QA section, and happy to discuss them. All right, please, Dan.
Yeah, I was just going to ask. So behind the scenes, that first one that you did, it actually shows expired now. So behind the scenes, is that gone?
This one you're saying? Yeah. This one, when this is access, is gonna 1, 2.
I'm sorry, the first one that you did.
So yeah, after 3 accesses, so those are, I had 2 more. It's gonna say, warning, the message has expired, please contact your sender. So the idea, it will be, yes, if the message has expired, the link is gonna show you a message that you need to contact the person if you're still interested in this message. It's not gonna say who the sender is. It's not gonna say anything like that. It's just say, hey, whoever got you this message needs to resend it to you with another link. You cannot extend this one. It's gonna need to do another one, and usually the sender might be you or might be someone else.
Sure, and behind the scenes, it's gone.
Right. Behind the scenes, and let me generate a new link, and I can give you a short behind the scenes. Give me 1 second to open here what I need to open. Right. So this is how the informations are stored behind the scenes. I personally have no. This is something else. Ignore this one. But the idea is those are the messages, and this is the encrypted message that it's stored here into the system. It has 72 hours and 2 opens. I have no idea who did it, what message is in it. I might know who the creator is if I'm really interested into it, but I have no idea what the message and what does it tell. Even though I have full access to the system, we encrypt the messages. So I think someone else is playing with this at this moment. So another entry was created into the system, and I have no idea what they are saying. Even though I have I store this information into the system.
Very cool. Thank you.
All right. How is it created? It's just taking the message. There's actually a workflow for that, so I can prove we are not sending your information over the emails, but to anyone. I think there's a workflow which is called create new message, and in create new message, we are taking what we are doing. We are generating a GUID. We are also encrypting this. I should maybe not show you that because that contains the encryption key. But after that time, we are taking the encrypted message, and based on the encrypted message, I'm just storing that in an entity. It's that simple. And I have an automation that is checking if something, for some reason something goes wrong or something is not working as it should in the logic. Every 10 minutes, it's checking each expired. It's checking all the messages and it's deleting the expired ones. Maybe there are opens left. There may be the person that we're discussing to sending the password. It only opened it one and it got the information it needed. And after 3 days and plus minus 10 minutes, the message is gonna automatically get deleted. So and I'm not like marking it as deleted or something. It's just getting deleted forever. So I even for some reason the key gets exposed or something like that. Then at that point, we minimize the breach in that situation. But that's like more of a different story to talk about in a different point. Cool. Any questions, or I think not.
Not yet, so go ahead and move on.
All right, no problem. All right, so the next part is the shared folders part. the share folders, whenever you access your account, you're not going to see the two options that I'm having in the menu. That's because I'm part of the Plantain App company. You are only going to see the share folders, and I'm going to give you an idea immediately how this works. So the idea is that the application is built and designed in a way that only the Plantain App employee can invite you to either share some document with us, or for example, if you want to share with us a big backup, hundreds of gigabytes, and you talk with someone from support, maybe we need to talk with Dale next time, and he can share with you a link that you can access, and you are going to have a folder here, an option of a folder where you can start uploading the documents that you want to share with us. The second situation, it will be where we want to provide you maybe with another backup from our side, or with a solution for your issue that requires sharing files, or the backup of a website that, maybe we downgraded, maybe we migrated, maybe we updated, or other operations like that, and want to provide you back to host it on premise. Then the operation there will be that you are going to receive a link, but the documents that we want to share with you are already there, and we invite you to download them. So the first option, it will be, for example, to share, to start sharing with someone an invitation to share some documents with with us. So for that situation, the option it will be to give it a friendly name, in idea that the storage, the way that we are storing the informations are that we are not storing the friendly name in the cloud. So because we don't want to point what those documents are, or just in case something goes wrong at some point, we don't want to have the files to have names. So even if you get access to that information, you will not know what those means. So we give it a friendly name that we store here locally, so we can just interact, and the sender and the receiver know about them. So let's say the documents for the backup, that can be an option, and you have up to 1 month to choose a day when the folder is going to expire. So exactly the same as the messages, it's not going to have opens. In this situation, it's only have a date limit, but it cannot be more than 1 month or 30 days or something like that. The idea will be that we don't want to store critical information for too long. So it's in the decision of the Plantain employee how much he thinks, or discussed with you, the receiver, how much the information need to be there. Not only that, but when creating this share folder, what mention that I want to do here is that I'm not creating a shared document, I'm creating a shared folder. So I'm opening a channel between you and me to start sharing documents. That will enable both me, the creator of the folder, and you to share documents both ways. So not only that I'm inviting you to share documents, but in that meantime, until the folder expires, I can also start sharing documents with you through the same channel. By default, is only 1 week. I think it's enough for 1 week. Even if you hit the weekend at the same time, you still have 5 days to download and upload documents that we need to do. And there are two options in this situation. It's either sending the user an email, or either not sending the user an email, and it's going to give us a share link immediately after creation. After we get the share link, we can we can send it through a different chat system, or internally, or who, depending on what the purpose of this is. I think I'm gonna send it to me. So just for the demo, even I'm the creator, I'm also gonna be the owner accessing the folder just for the demo purposes, and I'm gonna say generate a new invite. Not only that I'm getting this link here, which is gonna confirm the invite for me, but also is gonna I'm gonna get an email saying receiving the same link on my email address. So if you are willing to give me 1 minute, I should get the link. So here it are. I got an email from Radu from Plantain App, which is still me, and I'm getting the same link here. And by let me see if I can copy this. I can copy this link. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna close my incognito window and reopen it. So by doing this, I'm gonna take the process exactly as a user. I'm gonna be redirected to the registration page because I'm not sure if the user that got the email has an account or not, but don't worry about that. It's either you can click I already have an account, or even though if you start inputting your email address and say you're not a robot and click on the bicycle, but I think this is a motorcycle. Those are bicycles, okay.
But that link is only going to be useful to somebody who has the email and the password as well, correct?
It's the idea is that I might share this with someone that doesn't have an account with us yet.
I see. Okay.
So it's public. The idea is that if I'm sending to you the link, but you are not the IT guy that actually needs to provide me with the files, you can share the link with the person in charge of actually owning the files that there need to be uploaded. So I'm not locking it to a specific account. I'm enabling anyone that gets this link to share documents. It's my job to know your email address, but it's your job to keep this link safe, at least until you accept the invitation. So this is actually an invitation to start sharing with us, and it can be used only once. Once it's linked with an account, it's gonna be, that folder is gonna be available for until the expiration date with only that account.
Very good. You've thought this through.
Sure. And if you have already an account with us, it's gonna say we identified, and you are gonna be redirected to drop link, and you can click login, and you're gonna get on that page, and you're gonna say, hey, we have a drop link invitation. You are gonna claim your access and bind this with account, basically saying, hey, you are gonna use this account from now on to access this folder, the document for the backup. And you're gonna say access folder, and then in the share folders, I'm the uploader, but I'm also the owner. I'm gonna see a new share folder, and I can start uploading files. And I would like to also discuss about the upload file that we use here, but give me a second just to share anything. I can either upload the latest DNN zip, install zip, and I can click open, and after clicking this is gonna start uploading, and this is kind of fast. Those were like 44 megabytes or something, and you're gonna receive a link, and with this link you can either go back to I can go back to my support page. I can go back to Dale and say, hey Dale, this is the link, and I've updated. And also me as the creator in this situation, I'm still the same person, but me as the person, I got a new email that someone uploaded a document in a folder that I've created. So give me a second. Where did that email go? And I think the email is not in my inbox yet, but coming back to this, the idea it will be that after closing this, I'll see I have one file, and this file can be accessed based on the link. And what I would like to show you right now is that here's the link, and where's the chat? All right, feel free. This is the document. You can access it, but you rather cannot because it's secured with only the owner, which is me, and the creator of the folder, which is still me. So I'm the only one that can actually download this document.
Yeah, I tried it. It told me it's expired.
All right, that's great. Another thing that I want to show you is here is the upload file. The upload file, well, the situation was that even though we have an S3 integration with Amazon, the problem was that using that is going to upload the document firstly to the server, to your server, our server, and after that this is going to get pushed to the S3 to Amazon, which is redundant. Why not push directly to the Amazon S3? And for that, there is for that, actually, I would like to show something. So let me give you 4 more minutes, and after I will take the less 10 minutes to show you how I did the upload. The second part is basically similar, the same effort that we have here. I can create a new folder, dummy, and it's the same thing. It's for 7 days, and here I'm me as Plant App employee. I'm gonna come. I'm gonna choose. I would like to choose I'm gonna choose a document here really quickly that I would like to upload. I'm gonna get a link for that document, and after that I can assign an owner, and by assigning that owner, I'm gonna assign an owner. I'm gonna click assign, and that person is gonna get an email invitation. In that situation, it's in continue. It's still me. And it's gonna get files were shared with you, a folder dummy was made available for you, and because I already have an account, it's gonna redirect me to the I was already logged in with the required account. I'm already in my account based on the single sign-on, which is really cool. So I'm seeing that document as well. Now let me take the last minutes to show exactly. I think the upload file is one of the coolest things built into the system right now. Let me see. I kind of got lost in Windows. Which is the this is the one. All right. No, this one here. All right. Drop the computer. All right. So we have and I got logged off. Now I need to log out, and I need to log in with my other not single sign-on login available with my administrator account, and go to the configuration and go to the APIs. And I would like to show you, so get S3 presigned URL, right? So the idea is that there's an action which is called get presigned URL from S3, which is part of the Amazon add-on. And the idea here it will be that by setting up this information, we can by setting up those information like the region, the endpoint, and some of the passwords and so on. And by marking the make upload URL, we are gonna get an API endpoint. We are gonna get an API URL from Amazon, and it's gonna say, "Hey, you can use this you can use this URL to push whatever document you want, and it's gonna have this file name, and it's gonna be added in this folder." So this is gonna be the path that is gonna get in S3. And what I'm actually doing here is let me see. Here, let me close this off. Share folder, for example, I can go in edit mode for a second. I can show you here. Upload file. It's a form. It's not the prettiest, but it works, and I'm really happy with that. It's actually a static text that I've used. And in this specific static text, I wrote some JavaScript lines, and I actually watched a YouTube tutorial, and I searched Stack Overflow. The idea to be, let me see if I can make this piece of code a little bit bigger, is that initially I'm creating an input type, and I'm specifying the files that can be uploaded through it. I'm binding the upload button, the upload label. I'm doing a preliminary check to see if only those kind of documents are uploaded. The security is also implemented on the S3 part, and the problem is that I was kind of lazy and didn't treat all the errors that Amazon can give back to me. So I just did a pre-verification that you only upload the files that are validated. Otherwise, if you're forcing your way in trying to upload any type of other documents, you're just gonna get an error. And after that, whenever a document is uploaded, whenever you click on, I don't have access here. Whenever you click on the upload file and you choose one of the files, what I'm doing is that I'm asking my a local API endpoint to give me a URL that it's for this specific folder that I know. I click the upload button and the new file name. The new file name basically is me adding the date to the document, so I kind of give it a unique name each time when you upload the same document. It was a way for me to be sure that I'm not overwriting existing documents. So it's if I search for new file name, I think it's here with the get date, with the exactly get date. I think it's the Unix time that I'm appending there. And after that, after getting that URL, I'm getting the URL locally from PlantenApp, I'm taking that URL, and I'm gonna be honest with you, half of this code I copied from somewhere, but it worked for me. I'm manipulating a little bit the UI, and I'm also found a way to see what the progress is here in the process completed. If the process completed is 100%, I'm just saying generating link, and I'm doing another request where I'm asking DNN to synchronize with S3 so it can provide me a link locally. The idea here is that I'm using the DNN security and that the DNN rolls over S3 folders, so I can limit access only with people that have specific roles, or only if you're the uploader of the document. So, and I'm getting the URL that I'm receiving each time after that. It's, as Dale said, it's only limited for that person. And in the end, it's either it's uploaded or failed, and then it's just some CSS, and the main result is the upload file that you are seeing here. Choosing a file. And it can be hundreds of gigabytes if it's needed to do that, but it's pretty fast, nevertheless.
So just to make sure I understand, the code that you just demonstrated is the behind the scenes that allows content to go directly from the end user to S3.
Yes, you're right.
The file doesn't transport to our server, it transports to S3. And then behind the scenes, there's a link where that S3 folder appears so that we can both access it going forward.
Yeah, the idea is that DNN doesn't have file security, only has folder security, right? And that's the way of controlling the access to something. It's creating a folder. The idea is that the S3 provider used for this specific purpose, it's creating a clone of the folder structure locally in DNN, but the files are stored in Amazon. So even if you use this, you're gonna have a fake folder structure, so DNN can work with files, but the files are going to be pulled directly from S3. A way too long technical explanation from my side. I'm sorry.
I almost have my brain wrapped around it, but bottom line is it ends up being secure. It ends up being a way to transfer information between 2 points securely.
Yes, because the PlantenApp is connecting to the S3 cloud through a server-to-server connection, and it's giving us the access like that. So there are no public links to access any of the documents uploaded there. The links to download the documents can only be achieved through the drop link application, because the drop link application is the only application that can authenticate with Amazon. So the links that you are seeing here, even though they're DNN links, they actually, whenever you click on one of them, it's requesting a temporary link, a one-time used link to Amazon to provide you with that document. But the link, basically the link is the same each time, but the request is happening every time. With Amazon so there are no links from Amazon that can be reused or hacked or get through the network for any reason. And here we are just using the Plantain app security to provide it to either the team role that I have as part of the Plantain app team, or the uploader of the document, which is you or me or whoever is using this service. So yeah, the conclusion here is that it's secure. It can help you to share us big information, and we can share with you big files. And I actually invite you, everyone who's watching this, to use the messaging part. It's available for anyone that needs to use it, and it's a much more secure way to share passwords with anyone that you like.
So that's to get started. They would start with the drop link .plantanapp.com URL.
Yes, sorry.
Log in with their console credentials.
Yes. You just go here. You're gonna find this, and you click sign in, and you're gonna log in with your console credentials, exactly as I'm doing here. It's gonna say, usually the systems that you are logging in on the console, you're gonna have this message: continue to Academy, drop link, and other system will be added. I'm gonna get back here.
So to the degree that we share passwords and secure information on support, you'll be starting to see that kind of information from us.
I'm sorry?
Oh, I'm just telling the community that.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a question.
No. So since this is available to us now, that as we start asking for sharing secure information, we'll be starting to see drop link be used within our support channels. Yep. So we're getting some very cool solution from our audience. Anybody with a question? There's still a couple of minutes left for Radu. Put him on the spot.
I have one. The usual question. How long did it took you to build this?
So I had the. Right. Let me. So I started it. The problem is that I started working one day, and then something came up, and finished it 10 days later. But overall, I think I kind of worked 2 days, and. I'm saying 2 days, but I had the functionality ready in 2 days. After that was me adding the videos on the homepage, setting up the footer so it doesn't look weird and as an unfinished product. It was me adding headers and letting you know if you have problems to contact support. It was me that was, playing with Reza scripts to try to calculate the size of the file, so you have an idea how much you have to download. It was just finishing touches, but the whole brute, I don't know, uncut application was working with the invitation system and everything in 2 days. And I'm saying uncut was that the email, for example, only had the link, that they didn't have any explanation of whatever you got there. But icons on buttons and everything but in 2 days I had the functionality ready. The documents were uploading, the security was in place, invitations were getting sent, even the single sign-on was included. The integration with the single sign-on was included in the first 2 days.
What's next on your agenda for this system?
For this system? I think I don't know really. I don't know. I'm not saying it's finished right now. There might be other features that can be added here. One thing on my agenda will be to actually open this as a service to everyone in the community, not only the messages. I'm gonna be honest. I was a little bit skeptic of having no upload limit, almost no upload limit to documents, and the idea of this wasn't to be a next Google Drive or Dropbox or not even maybe a WeTransfer. It was start also, making going in the right direction with compliance in the future, with different scenarios of compliance. And my idea was to have a tool to get the trust of the customers, that we are not using any unsecure connections, and everything is built by us, maintained by us, and we are and the sharing that we did today is actually the demonstration that the documents, as you saw, only have temporary lifetime that are in the system, and after that they get deleted. So yeah, open it to the public completely, to provide the customers with the share folders, to work with their customers and so on. That may be the next step.
And one final question, which I think, I'm not sure if you mentioned it during the demo, is how does the encryption work? Where is the encryption key stored? Right.
The encryption key stored.
Where is the encryption key?
I don't want to tell you. Is this a hacker question or what?
So I mean, the question is, are they stored in the same system or they are stored offsite? Because I think that might be a good next step to integrate with key store providers.
They're stored inside the application. That's why I've kind of limited the access to only one administrator account, and only me and I think another people. So only a few people know the password access to here. There might be other systems where there are multiple administrators, but because this is a serious business here, as you saw, there's a different login page for administrators and stuff like that. But yes, it's stored into the local solution. It can be another step of security to have a third-party provider to store the keys.
Actually, this is one of my feature requests into the Plantain app, to use an external key management store like AWS or Azure. So it's on the roadmap. Cool. So I'm glad we had so many questions answered. My questions.
When I see we have the excitement of the community, because we're getting questions about what version will this be available within the core product. You don't have to answer that. That's one for Reza. He's got to put it on the roadmap.
I will.
What can I say, Reza? It passed QA. It's working perfectly.
The developers say it's a feature until QA says it's a bug.
It's a feature.
Cool. So we are a few minutes over the end time. So thanks everyone for being here again this week. Hope that you learned some cool new techniques. There's the feedback form in the chat window. We appreciate having your feedback. It helps us create even better content with every edition. So thanks again for being here. Thanks Radu, Dale, and Reza for presenting, for giving us this nice content. And we'll be seeing each other again next week. Bye everyone.